Now let's run this unit test case. So first I will run this serialize with invalid state, where we are writing the invalid time, negative time, to the serialized file. So we are able to write it now. So the time, as we can see, is a negative number. Now let's run our test deserialize with invalid object state, and we expect that it should throw an invalid object exception, and with the exception reason as time can never be negative, the same that we are using in our validate object method. So let me run this. Just running. Okay. So both our serialization and deserialization worked well, and we got the correct exception. Now let's write some unit test cases with valid object state with time as a positive value. So let's save some time. I will copy this and put it here. And here I will call test with valid object state with, need to change the name as with valid state. Okay. And here I will change it to a positive value. And finally, I will write to the another file, which is serialization file 1. Okay. So market data we have as shown that we are already in the setup method. We are all the remaining fields, we are already putting it correctly. And we are just changing the market data time, because the time is the only field which we are validating on. So this test serialize with valid state is looking good. Let me also write the test deserialize with the valid state. Let me copy it from the previous chapter, because it's not throwing any exception, so we cannot copy this one. So we have to copy from the previous chapter, which is say this one. Control C. We come here and Control V. So we will write test deserialize with valid state. Okay, with valid object state. So once we read back from the first file, and let me change the name of this market data with write object with market data with validation, right? Okay, with validation. So this is casted to our correct chapter, and then we will do the normal deserialization process. It should all be exactly same, except the market data provider, because we are not using this. Control Y. Let me check again. So it's positive value. So our validation would be positive. It will be not throwing any exception, because the time is set as a positive value rather than negative value. And then we just validate all of that. So let's run our test serialize with valid state, where we are setting the time as positive value. Let me run this. So it worked well, and we have got the time as positive value now. Let's run our test deserialize with valid state. So here we are using serialization file 1, the second file. Okay, so this is also looking good, because the time is positive value. So let's revise what we have done. So in this unit test case, I have created two files. One file was storing the object invalid state, where we are setting the time as a negative value, and that's why we expect that this should throw an exception when we deserialize it, and we asserted that it threw invalid object exception with the reason as time as negative. Similarly, we tried to test with the positive case, where the time is set as a positive value, and once we deserialize it back, we are getting all those exceptions back without any failure in the validation process. So guys, this was all about chapter 18 using object input validation. In the next video, we'll cover chapter 19, which is using write, replace, and read resolve methods. So see you all in the next video.